Welcome to my final presentation, Agatha All Along and the Modern Queer Family. I am Ethan Brewer, and I'm a senior wig and makeup and hair and design technology BFA. I would like to begin with introducing you to the show and the world it comes from. The Marvel Universe is complicated and relies heavily on transmedia. The small comic book company turned media empire uses comics, video games, movies, and interconnected shows to build a complete universe with interwoven storylines. Agatha, our main character, is featured in a number of highly marketed canon pieces of media. While this may seem like a lot of information to keep up with, all the scripts are written with crucial bits of information in mind. In a world of magic and aliens, it makes sense that the universe needs some boundaries. By creating rules like who can defy gravity and how, it makes the story more believable. While some shows the past left plot holes trying to keep the story moving, Agatha All Along is a multiverse with guidelines and laws to make things make sense. When Agatha herself breaks some of these laws, we see omens of death and blight coming to punish her. The complex characters and world building is interesting, but fails to apply to all characters at times. In a modern-day show that relies on transmedia to define these rules, it can also make the world's logic difficult to follow for those not familiar with the connecting media. Agatha All Along is a spin-off from WandaVision about a middle-aged queer witch on her quest to break a spell and regain power. With the plot spoiling itself the entire season through, her morally gray, independent character is reflective of shows like Roxanne and Sex and the City, where women have reliable moments in often out-of-hand situations. One of the major themes is the value of life and living it as you are, which is particularly anti-conservative, conformist, and 21st century in nature. It is one of Marvel's lowest budget shows, creating interesting storytelling through detail. The camera is mainly focused on who the narrator is for the moment, not necessarily only the main character. Additionally, the physical set ironically hints at a false world that our characters are journeying through. Subtle and obvious nods to early broadcasting make the show the campy hit that it is. There's a great play on setting and time period, which is often seen in the camera work. When filming a 50s parody, the camera is stationary with potential for a slight comedic zoom, but a 70s parody features characteristic split screens like the Brady Bunch. The use of evolving signature camera work and upgrade technology is thanks to the innovative broadcasting companies. However, the way that the show uses these time periods to add to the plot and comedy is unique to 21st century television. The different time periods are used to reveal secrets and important moments in an individual character's life and how it affects the group. Gay people. It is a wonderful product of brave producers, script writers, and protesters that allow us to even be able to say gay without censorship in broadcasting. In the 1930s, queerness was banned from broadcasting and was only brought back really in 1971's On the Family. While Agatha and Rio are not the first magical queer couple, they do have their own modern storyline. The relationship is never stable, but it does not focus on their tragedy the entire time. The character's queerness is part of the plot, but is not their entire personality or focus. These differences allow for the plot to evolve past the characters and into the future of the Marvel Universe. One of the main 21st century themes, finding the self, is practically personified by the character Billy. For the majority of the show, the audience and characters are not allowed to know his name. That is, until he literally takes back his power and announces his name to the world. The on-the-nose theming is comforting for older audiences and reassuring for younger viewers. The queer audience is one of the key demographics, as mentioned by the costume designer in an interview by The Art of Costume. Castings like Aubrey Plaza, Joe Locke, and Patti LuPone draw on the old and young, traditionally slumpy viewers. The suburban living, urban-minded class is catered to, with details in clothing and set, as well as references to historically queer media, like The Wizard of Oz. Understanding of historical media gives additional meaning to the characters and their importance to the audience. On the topic of censorship and progression, Agatha All Along has a range of diversity. Billy, played by Joe Locke, is a young Jewish gay teen with more alternative clothing and music styles. With these features would have deemed his character immodest or demonic in the past, they are now some of his most relatable and humanizing features for young audiences. In an appeal to the older viewers, Patti LuPone was casted as a Sicilian witch who specializes in fortune-telling or seeing into the future, which would not have been allowed, as we discussed in class, with I Love Lucy as being a prime example. Fortune-telling and alternative religions to Christianity were not allowed by the NAB Code unless portrayed in a non-serious manner. Her religion and magic being portrayed as a respectful and historical manner is a direct defiance of the NAB Code of the past and works to create respectful conversations for future generations. The show overall is a brilliant blend of modern storytelling with some not-so-subtle nods to historical television. Morsels of individual character plot are woven into the arc of the show and complete the dynamic of the characters' interactions. These plots are often later referenced in connecting media, creating diverse characters and concepts. Thank you for listening, and I hope if you choose to watch the show, that you enjoy every delicious detail hidden in camera corners and every witchy clue hinted at the whole way through.